Okay, level 2 review. So yeah, Monday we reviewed like, okay, what's the absolute value of negative 8? Right? Absolute value of negative 8 would just be 8, right? Because absolute value is the distance from your number to 0. So on the number line, here is my number, here is 0. How far did I go? Oh, I hopped over 8 spaces, right? So the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. Okay. And then if like, okay, what's the absolute value of 10? Okay, so what's the distance from 0 to 10? Okay, that would be 10 hops, right? So absolute value is just the distance from your number to 0, your number to 0. All right, and then we did level 2, which was, okay, now we're going to do math problems. So what's negative 8 plus 10? And like they're in the same bars, right? So if they're in the same bars, you are going to do this math first. So what is negative 8 plus 10?
18.
No.
2.
2. Since we have a negative and we have a positive, you're actually going to subtract, right? And it's the same thing as doing the little tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you would circle these, right? And then you have 2 left over, right? So when you have 2 left over, that's why it's 2. And then I have the bars. We take them out of the bars, so that is giving you a final answer of 2. Final answer of 2. Okay. Now, what if they're in individual bars, like negative 8 plus 10? All right. Negative 8, we take it out. So what's the absolute value of negative 8? 8 plus what's the absolute value of 10? 10. So notice now I drop down the numbers. So when they're all by themselves, you drop them down. When they're all by themselves, you drop them down. What's 8 plus 10?
18.
18. So notice a difference between these two problems. Here, they're together. They're together. So we do the math first and then drop it down. Here, since they're separate, we just drop them down and then do the math. We get 2 different answers because of the placement of the bars. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, so now we're going to do negative 12 plus, let's do 5 in the bars. So they're all in the bars, right? So if they're all in the bars, we're going to do the math part first. What's negative 12 plus 5?
7. -7.
Negative 7, because there's more negatives, but we still have the bars, right? So now I have a single number. Now I'm going to drop it down. What's the absolute value of negative 7? 7,
7.
and you're done. But if they're individual bars, all the math changes and you get a different answers. Sometimes you get the same answers, but most of the time you get different answers. Okay, what's the absolute value of negative 12? 12. Bring down your plus sign. What's the absolute value of 5?
5.
5. So now we just do simple math. 12 plus 5?
17.
17. And you're done. Okay? So, but what you guys have to realize is the difference between together and separate. Together and separate. Any questions?